Hey guys, it's Party Petey here, and we're going to be solo casting
10
this,
seconds remaining.
another thing from the Uprise Champions. I just
5
saw this in
seconds
the
remaining.
queue draft thing, so I thought, why not get an early drafting session in? So then I saw that they were already doing the drafts, and they're already doing their bans. So looks like it's going to be Walrus Punch versus Team. I'm going to just say Team Axe. Axe. Sure, we'll just say Tax. So Walrus Punch versus Tax, and looks like they're going to go for the Vengeful Spirit, Outer World Devour, and they banned the Invoker and the IO off the first run. Chen and Death Prophet have been seeing a lot of popular bans and picks within the previous, a lot of people have been banning Chen, obviously, throughout the years, and then Death Prophet recently was given a lot of love towards the pro scene, so that's been banned out as well. The IO and Invoker were banned out. Invoker is probably something that specifically this team is good at, but the IO, again, is another one of those bans that are always out there, always getting banned. So off the first pick, they ended up picking Vengeful Spirit, and then they jumped, and then Team Axe ended up going for Lone Druid into Tusk. And I've seen Lone Druid's been picked up a lot. Admiral Bulldog's been picking up Lone Druid left and right.
Radiant team pick.
Looks like Walrus Punch are going to pick up the Undying, and Undying, I guess, is, I could see the Totem being, or Tombstone, I call it Totem. I could see the Tombstone being very effective against the Lone Druid, with slowing either the bear or himself, but then there's the Rabid, there's Lone Druid Rabid, which will allow him to escape much quicker than
10
the
seconds
Tombstone's
remaining.
They pick up the
5
Outer World Devour, which I
remaining.
always find is a pretty big pick up there. It's one of those super situational
Reserve
carries or
time.
super situational supports. But by the looks of it, they're going to go for the off-core, which is like the position 3, as I like to define it. So most likely it's going to be the Outer World mid with Vengeful Undying in the off, or Vengeful in the easy lane, probably Undying in the off with their 2 other picks. So far, there's a lot of durability on the side of Team Axe, or Tax. Team Axe. So far, so good. I wonder what else they're going to end up actually picking up here. Maybe, well, they got to pick up some sort of actual carry. But I've been seeing a lot of Lone Druid Nature's Prophet, so maybe they're going to pick up the NP, maybe they're not. Nyx and Beastmaster was banned out. Beastmaster was probably something that Tax would have ended up picking up. The Dazzle was banned out on the side for the Walrus, which makes perfect sense because Dazzle is probably going to be a really good one out of the 2 picks that were already done. So then they countered it with Undying with the light amount of heal that he can do. They pick up the Ancient Apparition, actually, which I find is a pretty unique pick for Team Axe. Probably a direct counter to Undying heal and Outer World Devour Astral. But I don't see how it's going to do too much against the Vengeful Spirit. In fact, probably Vengeful Spirit's probably going to go directly on the Ancient Apparition for damage. But so far so good. The picks are going out. Most of the reserve time is already used up.
10 seconds
Queen
remaining.
of Pain is still on the board, and I can see Queen of Pain doing really good against Ancient Apparition and
5
Tusk, but not Lone
seconds
Druid.
remaining.
They'll need... Walrus Punch needs some sort of heavy tier stun, and they actually pick up the Brewmaster, which now might change Brewmaster to mid and Outer World Devourer to off lane, which might be a pretty good pick here. I definitely see Drunken Brawler being useful against Drunken Haze being useful against the Lone Druid, and maybe the Tusk, but the Tusk usually gets his 1 shot, and then he has to leave the fight. But the Primal Spirit is probably something that's going to be really detrimental on the side of Walrus Punch. So maybe Team Axe should pick up a Silencer or
5 seconds
just anything that does
remaining.
instant burst damage or silence. And they pick up the Timber Saw, actually, so that's a lot of pure magic damage that's going on the side of Team Axe at the moment. With, I guess it would block out Drunken Brawler, and it would... No, it doesn't really counter out Undying. Really, it's just a counter directly to the
10
Brewmaster
seconds remaining.
with all the pure magic damage, which means Brew's probably going to go BKB, which is
5
something I usually see
seconds
on him.
remaining.
They ban out the Queen of Pain, actually. Walrus Punch ban out Queen of Pain, which is actually perfect, because they were actually a bigger counter to Queen of Pain with that pure 900 burst on Aghanim Scepter. So yeah, their whole team would not have benefited from that. So Team Axe is gonna have to find something that I could see.
10 seconds remaining.
Maybe the Rubik. If the Rubik gets picked up, it should be banned.
5 seconds remaining.
But Team Axe are already pretty lined up with supports. Maybe we'll see the Kunkka support. Kunkka semi support. I don't know. They ban out the Razor, which is...
Dire team
I don't really
pick.
agree with that one, because, again, Tusk gets his initial damage when he first jumps in, and Lone Druid will have the damage when he decides to jump in. I'm going to check something real quick and see if these English casters are actually casting. And they're not. Cool. So far, Razor's been banned out. They've got a good 15 seconds to
10
figure out what Walrus Punch wants to do here. They go for the Weaver, actually, which is another pick I might not agree with exactly, unless they go Desolator with Vengeful Spirit Roam. So I don't know what the mid's going to be here. Weaver's probably not going to be mid, because most of the recent games I've seen is Weaver hasn't gone mid. I see a Brewmaster sticking in mid most, and then maybe Tusk in mid. Maybe Brew is there off with Undying, Vengeful, Outer World, and Safe.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I guess that could be a more obvious pick
5
there.
seconds remaining.
So Team Axe are going to have to figure out what exactly to do
10
here. And
seconds
speaking of
remaining.
Axe, it might actually be a pretty good pick, but they pick up the Slardar, which is actually a really good pick against the Weaver. And it will drain out the armor pretty quickly. I guess if Slardar goes the Desolator or Monkey King, then that's immediately something that's going to win the fight for them. Because then he'll be able to easily destroy Vengeful Spirit through Desolator, and even if he gets the Desolation damage left over, then he'll still be able to deal plenty of damage between now and then. Team Axe are struggling to figure out who wants to play Slardar and Lone Druid. Or they're just not connected. One or the other. Yeah. So hopefully we'll get into the draft here. Let's see if the English people are speaking.
10 seconds
They are not.
remaining.
Don't know what's going on.
5 seconds remaining.
Do they actually have, like, extra people casting with them? Don't know. Do not know. So before, we're going to leave game chat in, turn spectator off. And it looks like attack is good to go, and they are. So we're going to have Supreme on the Slardar with Exotic Deer on Lone Druid. Robert's going to be the AA with Timber Saw as Nisha, or Nisha as Timber Saw, and Elisha, or as the Tusk. And in the Dire, we are going to have Vengeful Spirit, played by Stand-in Rim, Squeen on the Undying, LMGD as OD, Madine as Brew, and I don't actually know what Weaver's name is here. I guess he's just, maybe his name is just stand-in ... whatever. So we're gonna jump straight into the game here. We're gonna leave net worth on. It looks like Walrus Punch is having a little bit of a problem here. None of them are ready, according to Radiant. They're 100% ready to go. Yeah. So we're just going to be staying here. It looks like it's already been one game to Walrus Punch, so Adden's going to have to be fighting for their, whether or not they're going to win here situation or not. I'm going to check if the casters are on. They're not. I don't know where the casters are. So we're going to be seeing the Timber off lane. The Timber is going to be the off lane with Lone Druid possibly the middle, which means there's going to be some like crazy aggro coming out here on the side of Lone Druid. In fact, Lone Druid is sending the bear to get the rune at the moment. Everyone's just splitting out. There's going to be no Dust of Deceit here going to get mid-tier ganks. Looks like they're just trying to play it safe. So we're going to have the Timber Saw Nisha as the off lane for the Radiant, the Lone Druid as the mid, and for the safe lane, it's going to be Ancient Apparition, Robert as Ancient Apparition, Lisha as the Tusk, and Slardar as the Supreme as the Slardar. The Bear is also in the Roshan pit.
Battle.
They're pinging out the Bear, and they're wanting to put out the aggro that the Bear is there. For the off lane as the Dire, we're going to have Maiden as the Brewmaster with, looks like, some awkwardly stacked 4-man hero mid at the moment. Most likely it is the Weaver mid, seeing that he spec'd Invis in the beginning. If they're not careful, they will be spotted out here by the Lone Druid. In fact, they get pinged out by the Lone Druid already, and they need to be extremely careful with how they're going to play here. Outerworld Devourer showing that he's there. They're pinging out that he shouldn't have gone out there, but it looks like it's too late. They're going to put the three-man stack on the rune. Top rune is not going to be contested in any way, shape, or form. With bottom rune on the Radiant is going to be easily going to Slardar or Tusk. Probably the Tusk. Yeah, Tusk. So Tusk will be bought. So here are the lanes, is that our tri-lane with the AA, Slardar, and Tusk, with Tusk on the Bounty Rune already. Vengeful Spirit with the Outerworld Devourer on top. I guess with Undying is actually going to go bottom. Looks like he has a ward. He was probably going to ward in the very beginning. They're picking out that the Bear has already been made in middle, so they need to be very careful with that. And like I said, it's going to be the Weaver mid with their off lane is actually Brew Undying, and their safe lane as Vengeful and OD, which I guess is actually a very powerful pick here, because if they wanted to, Vengeful Spirit can spec Vengeance Aura and Stun, and still be able to get some crazy damage off here. And they're trying to put as much aggro as they can on the Timbersaw. Meanwhile, bottom is actually getting a lot of aggro on the Undying, with the Undying actually picking up Decay first. So there's going to be some necessary aggro here going out. I'm pretty sure I just saw Undying use his Iron Branch, and Tusk is getting Tusk is getting wailed on by the Brewmaster. Meanwhile, top is actually getting some more aggro. Timbersaw is going to have a really hard time in this lane because he is all about having intelligence, and with the fact that OD's passive is now the Arcane Steel, he will have a really, really easy time in this lane if he continues to keep aggro on this Timbersaw. Meanwhile, mid is having a very, very safe farm actually. Weaver is on the top net worth at the moment with I don't know how many last hits and denies because I don't know my keys yet. F2. So yeah, so far actually the Lone Druid is the highest on the last hit denies network here. So despite, oh, that's weird. I guess the Weaver just doesn't. Oh yeah, the Weaver didn't purchase as much as Lone Druid did, but Lone Druid also didn't buy as much either. The runes are going to get contested here. Undying might go down, but instead it might be the Ancient Apparition because there's a haste going on the Undying. First blood goes down to Walrus Punch, and it's it is the Brewmaster that claims the kill. This Undying haste is actually going pretty far here. If he continues to go, he's going to overextend. Weaver needs to be careful. He's taking a lot of unnecessary creep damage here. He's actually going to salve and hopefully invis and not lose that salve. He does exactly that. Meanwhile, top's been pinged out and the stun goes out on the Timbersaw. Timbersaw is going to get away because he just spec Timber Chain, so he is all good there, and he uses the salve. Then going to go back to net worth here, and looks like the Lone Druid is on the net worth now, on the top net worth. But the top three Dire heroes are on the top net worth at the moment, with the contesting between Brewmaster and Slardar. But Slardar is making more of a comeback than Brewmaster is here. In fact, Slardar is actually going higher up the mark at the moment. Undying needs to be careful here. He was just taking too much damage from that. Where even is the Undying? Oh, he's in the base. He was taking too much damage from the bot lane Tusk here with Ancient Apparition specking directly into Chilling Touch, which is offering some crazy good beginning game aggro. Slardar is absolutely free farming at this point. Looks like they're going to go for a wraparound on the Timbersaw up here, but gets spotted out because of this Radiant Ward here. So there's going to be no contest between that. In fact, Timbersaw is trying to taunt out. I missed a kill on the Undying on bottom. Slardar is double spec into stun, double spec into speed. And Brew has only one spec in Drunken Brawler, so he only has a tiny stack of evasion. Snowball goes out, but there's just enough mana to stun, and down goes the Brewmaster. So that'll be, what, 2 kills actually on the side of Aiden, with the Slardar getting both of them, which is really good for them. In fact, they could probably go for some early HP specs. Robert pops the Arcane Salve, and then everyone continues to roam back bottom. Looks like Tusk is going to get scouted out here. Top's getting some more aggression. Vengeful Spirit needs to be really careful here, because that's a lot of magic damage that can come out from the Timbersaw. But he actually only has Timber Chain spec. He's been shut off the lane so hard that he's getting little to no experience. He's going to pull the wave here, and they're actually going to see the wave being pulled with this ward here. So they need to be, Timber needs to be really careful, because he's about to lose both the farm and the experience off these creeps here. Meanwhile, Slardar is getting chased around by the level 3 Undying, which isn't really posing much of a threat. Somebody left an Iron Branch there. I don't know why people drop Iron Branches if you can drop them in these trees now. Looks like we're gonna have the Vengeful coming mid to do some mid-game ganking. They need Undying needs to be really careful here. This is his 3rd time dying in the same exact way. In fact, it looks like Brewmaster Brewmaster is not going to get dived upon. Meanwhile, the gank in mid was unsuccessful, if it happened yet. It did not actually happen yet, but there are no wards here. In fact, they actually end up placing a ward. Walrus Punch places a ward so they can get the vision, but looks like they were already spotted out. And actually, no, instead, Lone Druid is just going to take the farm stack, which actually is not there at the moment to get the extra experience from creeps not being in the lane. OD, despite... Oh no, OD is not having problems at all. OD is actually having probably one of the best times of his life up here. He gets to basically be solo, and nothing will occur from it. Vengeful Spirit's going to wrap around from the river here, and there's no sight coming off of the Timber, so Timber doesn't know that she showed up, except for probably a clip vision of the tower, depending on where he was. Vengeful actually steals the creep wave to put on, and actually Timbersaw might be going down here. Now Timber Chain's out, but he's going to be able to walk out of this one perfectly fine, because there's not going to be enough damage coming out. Yeah, there wasn't enough damage. Instead, on the back turn, Slardar actually gets a kill bottom on the Undying again. This is his 3rd time dying to the Slardar here, or 2nd time dying to the Slardar. Well, no, it is the 3rd time dying to Slardar, because Ancient Apparition probably got one. Yeah, it looks like it is. So this is the 3rd time that this has happened here. So Undying needs to really think about where his next location will be, because he's not getting any bonus benefits down here. Slardar's already on boots. He got level 6 before the Weaver probably got level 6. No, Weaver's level 7, so never mind, disregard that completely. The Lone Druid is 2nd on the net worth here, with Weaver actually being under the Slardar from bottom with how much farm they've been getting. Tusk just bought up a smoke, and most likely is, yeah, actually he smokes directly into the creep wave here, and doesn't actually show himself off. Looks like the Vengeful is going to be swapped out for the Undying top to try and make up from some missing farm here, which is why there's not really much else I can put against this here. The Snowball's coming out onto the Brewmaster, but nothing's really going to follow it up, because Tusk does not have an ultimate. In fact, it looks like Tusk is going to have more of a problem here. Brewmaster picks up the rune, and there's going to be no follow-up in here. In fact, Weaver comes around and might be able to jump onto the... and there goes the Ancient Apparition, gets shot out by the Vengeful Stun, and there's no way of getting... there's no way of evading that one. Timbersaw has his ultimate now, so he's able to farm a little bit more efficiently, but OD still has the upper advantage with this Intelligence Steal per right click, which is absolutely fantastic. Timber Chain misses. That would have been a perfect way to initiate a fight. But Timbersaw just has no mana, and he's still on 10 stacks of reactive armor. But it's not going to be too much coming off of there. In fact, a haste is picked up by the Weaver, so Weaver might be coming to try and help in a fight here. Yeah, Weaver is actually coming through the jungle here. Oh, nope, and they're going to disjoint from that completely. Meanwhile, Brewmaster's getting initiated on, but Slardar is actually really low health. He's going to get killed by the Thunderclap from Brewmaster, but no Brew... Oh! And Undying comes out and does... I don't even know what it's called for him. But in return, they end up still getting the Brewmaster, but Brewmaster's rate is not really worth it, because Tusk is going to go down here too from no doubt the Undying. And no, it actually goes down from the Weaver. Weaver must have teleported in or something, because I did not see Weaver come in there. Meanwhile, on the top lane, OD actually kills Timbersaw finally, and a lot of intelligence stolen. I don't know why they called the courier if Hand of Midas. Hand of Midas. Okay, so he's actually got a Hand of Midas at 9 minutes, and he still has normal boots with a null talisman. Looks like the wave's gonna be blocked out here. Weaver killed Ancient Apparition somewhere. I don't know where he did that. We'll have to go back and find that out eventually. I'm gonna check if the English casters are casting. Wow, they are not. They are not. Are they at least doing camera? They are. Which in fact, they just showed me that OOD is probably about to die here to the Timbersaw, and the Timber Chain goes down. Oops, now I'm on direct camera on accident. Weaver picks up invisibility on bot, which isn't exactly something that's 100% beneficial to him. He's going to scout out the lone druid here pretty soon here. He picks up the bear. He realizes the bear is level 7 and the druid is 9. Druid is calling out the bear going down into the bot rune. Nope, never mind. Tusk is here. Tusk actually got spotted out by the Weaver. And the Weaver is stuck in there by the bear. Does not know it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Tusk is trying his best to defend, and looks like a sentry ward comes out in the mid here by the smoked Venge and OD. Looks like they're going to try and go on the Tusk here. The Tusk instead is going to try and get the other turnaround here, and uses the fear part of the bear to get out, and charges out into the Weaver. The Weaver actually rearms and is perfectly fine and unfazed from the fight. Meanwhile, top and bottom are getting some really well uncontested farm. In fact, Timbersaw is... he's actually only at 3k for net worth at the moment, with last hits only being... oh, that's excuse me a minute. Last hits, he's only at 35 to 1 for last hits. Mid is still getting a heavy beating here. In fact, the Tusk is going to get initiated upon, but then the bear is for sure going down. The bear can't go anywhere at this point. In fact, I don't even... I'm trying to move the bear, trying to do anything with the bear. No, the bear is for sure dead here. The fear is on cooldown, and the bear goes down. In fact, Lone Druid goes down because he gets scouted out by the OD. Which actually Radiant's middle tower is under attack. He'll go down to losing the bear half of his bear, I guess. Fortification goes out, and regen is pinged out top for the Weaver. Tusk is coming back in, but he can't really do much to defend this tower. Timbersaw actually got the top tower in the meantime, but he's still so far behind on farm here. Yeah, the draft on the side of Walrus Punch has a lot more early game aggression, much like the game I drafted yesterday, where Kukas just did not have that early game aggression and ended up losing to Tornado. Mid tower goes down to the Weaver, and the Weaver gets the bonus gold. Meanwhile, bot is actually going to possibly get scouted out by Slardar here. Vengeful does not get seen and emerges perfectly fine, but instead Slardar picks up his Blink Dagger at 12, basically 13 minutes with his stat boots still. It was not a Blink Rush. Looks like they're calling out the advancement by Slardar coming into mid. So Weaver needs to be a little bit careful, and Weaver does have his rearm, so he is able to get out of it if it goes a little bit too hard, but they see him, and Tusk is gonna ping out the Weaver, and it looks like they've got some vision on the top, but I think gotta be really careful here, and he goes down instantaneously. I don't know why the Weaver should have moved or something, because they saw him there. The ward was there. and they didn't end up doing anything. Bottom tower goes down to Lone Druid, and fortification goes out too late. Ancient Apparition gets his ultimate off, but it doesn't really propose much off of the fight here. In fact, Slardar is waiting right in the forest, goes onto this. Man, Tusk just absolutely annihilated that with Vengeful Spirit in the tower. There are two of the totems. He's going down. You need to be really careful here, because Brew actually got stunned out immediately out of his ultimate. I don't really think they're going to get much off of this, because the rest of the heroes have left the building. Except Lone Druid. Lone Druid might be caught out by this Wind Spirit here, but it doesn't really matter, because the Earth Spirit's going to respawn. Oh, Earth Spirit has no health left, but it doesn't matter because Slardar is coming in and killing the rest of the heroes. Here comes an Ancient Apparition ultimate. Perfect landing onto the OD. OD is for sure dead here, but instead turns around and gets another kill onto the Slardar ultimate and still dies in the process. But Outerworld Devourer loses a dominating streak, which might be a little bit hard against the Slardar. But in fact, it was actually Lone Druid that killed them, not OD. So OD ended up getting the kill credit there. Looks like they're trying to ping out a missing Brewmaster. They're not going to find it because Slardar is still dead and he's the only one with the Blink Dagger. Tusk is coming in. He might be able to find something. Instead, they smoke. They need to be really careful with that smoke. They might have clipped the Brewmaster and found out that he was still there, but nobody has a way to get in there. Looks like Snorwell's coming out on the Vengeful Spirit. Vengeful Spirit's just absolutely dead from that one. There is no way getting out of that one for sure. Weaver's scouting out their forest. He needs to be really careful here because the Timber Saw is right behind him. In fact, he gets spotted out by the creeps, and he's, again, not phased by it whatsoever. A Desolator has to be coming out on the Weaver, so Weaver is definitely going Desolator, not going in a Lincoln-Sphere, despite there's 3 different Lincolns that he might need to get away from. The Timber Saw gets pinged out by the Weaver in the middle. Meanwhile, there was a Radiant Ward that they might have found out was there. No, they did not find out the Radiant Ward was there. In fact, they might be smoking on top of it. They ping out the Courier with Tusk roaming around with it. They need to be really careful with that Courier. It might actually get sniped out here. No, it doesn't. Instead, a ward gets placed, and Tusk actually points out the ward or the people that are there and is safely rushing to the tower here. We're going to see a Force Staff picked up by the OD, which I find is a very defensive pick for him so far since he's playing really, really aggressively. Looks like they're gathering up for some sort of attack here up on their forest. A lot of drawing coming out from the Undying, saying everyone just go attack this tower. Yeah. There's going to be some open aggression here. Looks like he's going to go mid and try and get the Lone Druid, but little do they know they're going to hit the Tusk before that happens. They spot the Tusk out. They might go for the Tusk instead, but instead the tower drops and in comes the Primal Split. And they're going to go for the Bear still, but the Fear drops them. Snowroll goes out. Man, they need to pick a target here, because there's nothing going to happen off this with how they're going so far. In fact, I don't even see where the other Undying is not even in the fight anymore. Lone Druid is still emerging perfectly fine. In fact, he might get the bind off here, but he doesn't. But the Brewmaster is still slowed, stuck in the hole here. Weaver gets the kill on the Lone Druid Bear, and Lone Druid is going to TP out. Courier is for sure getting sniped here. Bloodstone gets dropped onto the Timber Saw still, but the Courier was definitely sniped here. Here comes Slardar. He gets the stun out, but he's invis. Little does he know that he does the rearm, and he's going to try to emerge perfectly fine, but still gets the evasion out. The totem is still sitting here doing nothing. It dies right now. Yeah, so something I'd like to talk about is how the Dire, how Walrus Punch are putting their wards here. They have some pretty good vision getting within like the areas of the Radiant Forest here, and they're not going to give up too much here with their vision, but they've got some pretty strange vision warding here. How they can get a vision there, here, and see their own camp as well. A Midas goes out on the Ancient Apparition, which means we're going to see the Aghanim Scepter rush, or you know, the Impulsive Ward Buyer. Dang, he's only level 7, which is actually pretty bad. Smoke goes out on the Timber Saw. Little did they know Nope, they did. There was no ward actually. The cliff ward actually expired before they smoked, which is really good because now there's no chance of them seeing them. And then I would like to say that the Radiant is having little to no extra ward vision here, so this is probably what they're going to try and achieve. And doesn't look like they find who they want inside the forest here. Ancient Apparition doesn't have any wards. In fact, there might be a counter smoke into the Roche pit. No, never mind. It's actually just Weaver soloing Roche with a DD. Radiant might have a little bit of knowledge about this, but I don't see anything coming off of Radiant aggression-wise. In fact, the Tusk is just roaming top. Out the AA ball is going to go straight into the Roshan pit. No one's really low enough health to actually take a lot of damage from this. Weaver might actually die. No, he won't. If he wanted to, he could rearm it. But it's not an Aghanim Scepter yet, and it's not even level 2 ult, so he is not going to die from it. Bottle charges go out. There's no mech on the bench, so that's not happening. Meanwhile, top tower is getting absolutely decimated by the Druid. I haven't even checked the items on the bear yet. Slardar actually gets the Brewmaster, and Brew does not get a chance to pop his ultimate off. Timbersaw just barely missed not being clipped on that thing, on the Weaver Storm there. Top is definitely going to get denied. Yeah, it's within deny range, and they're like full on. All three heroes are going to try and deny it.
Dire's top tower has been denied.
I don't exactly see what's going on here. Out comes the ball, because they think the Weaver is going to be there, and little did they know the Weaver is not there. The Weaver, like, steadily waited for the longest time there. Courier is back up on the side of the Radiant. Meanwhile, Top is actually getting some good aggression here. Man, that looks so weird on OD. It's like he's a gold OD. Timber Chain makes him look all nice and Goldilocks. Radiant really need to do something about their lack of vision here. The only ward that they really have is in the Dire Secret Shop, which only grants them vision here, and a little bit there. So they're gonna have to figure out something to do about vision here soon. Undying is still attempting to go for a mechanism here and possibly eventually move Crimson Guard. Because no, they're not a lot of physical damage, but they're a lot of burst damage. So maybe something else. I don't know. Mid's gonna have a smoke here. Smoke gets spotted out by the Ancient Apparition, but Ancient Apparition is definitely going to be going down here. In fact, he gets one-shot critted from the Brewmaster Link into his Thunderclap, so he was definitely dead for sure. Undying pings out the Lone Druid. Lone Druid actually picks up the Radiance on the bear. And oh my gosh, the bear has a Midas,
Tower is under attack.
and he's got that. OD is getting jumped on here. OD's going to trap himself out, and they see the TP coming out from the Undying. I don't really know if Undying's much of a problem here. So they're going to do exactly that. They're going to jump right back in, but the Undying, and out goes the Tusk Punch. Tusk is going to actually be able to make it out. The only one that might have a little bit of problem here, because he can't blink from the Undying Totem, is Slardar here, and he's gonna, no, he gets swapped actually, so he's gonna have another hard time blinking, and that's not gonna happen. He is definitely going down here. He did not know what to do in that situation. In fact, he bought items for Crimson Guard, so it looks like he's going Crimson Guard. Lone Druid is trying to get some aggro against this Weaver here. Little does Weaver know that he's finally got a Radiance, so he's gonna have a little bit of a hard time trying to kill him, and that was exactly what happened. There's a DD rune bot, but nobody sees it. There's no rune wards. Again, there's little to no Radiant Vision, and where they've placed the ward for Radiant Vision is very weird. The H is going to expire here soon, so he really needs to try and get a fight. And he actually kills the bear, which screws, it doesn't really screw up Lone Druid's farm that much. Undying builds the mechanism. OD has the Rod of Atos, so this is definitely a int speed, attack speed OD build with that Midas into Rod of Atos. Timbersaw needs to be a little bit careful here. Actually, it gets out because you might see them from the few wards that they actually have. Full engagement coming top onto the Timbersaw. Looks like they might be diving into the forest and going straight onto him right there. No, in fact, they just drop a ward down right on top of the OD. But then Timbersaw gets scouted out here, and he is for sure going down here to the OD. OD is just dealing too much damage at the moment. He's 61-64. into his
Radiant's top
total
tower is
intelligence
under attack.
per damage. But Dire needs to be a little bit careful here. Lone Druid is making a steady attack on the second tier
Dire's
tower
bottom
here.
tower is under attack.
So they
Radiant's
TP in the
top tower
Brewmaster and
is
hope they
under
can
attack.
find out what's going on
Radiant
here.
structures are fortified.
Yeah, looks like a lot of fortifications going out. Brew's still going to...
Radiant's
Brew's actually going to get
top tower
shut
has
down.
fallen.
And 3 TPs coming in. There is going to be no way that they are going to benefit from this. In fact, Vengeful Spirit blinds and stuns out the Slardar here. Slardar gets caught out because of the Tusk. Tusk is definitely going to go down in this
Dire's
exchange
middle
here.
tower is under
But they
attack.
achieved what they wanted to do, and they got the actual carry out, as Tusk wasn't entirely the actual carry here. Lone Druid makes it out. I think his bear actually died. Yeah, his bear died in the top tower. Lone Druid is actually top on the net worth at the moment, with Undying still under by 1.2k or 1.6k. I'm going to check the English casters again. No casters. No Russian dude. Okay, so I don't know where the casters are. AA ball going bot hits the OD completely, but since Force Staff is right there, it gets him right out. Timbersaw needs to be a little bit careful. He's got it out by this ward here, and actually blinks away. In fact, they saw them coming with the ward going into their area there, or there. Yeah, in fact, they're circling all the areas that there are most likely people, and they need to be... I don't know what the Undying is. I'm assuming the Undying is probably the captain in this mode. Or in this gameplay here. All the TP is going out here, so bot's gonna...
How many times are you gonna miss?
Sorry about that, folks. There was a little bit of an audio issue. There was some beeping going on inside the office, so I had to click the audio out so that you wouldn't get the annoying sounds. Sorry about that, but I still managed to keep it pretty good within the time that the audio was down. There's a DD out on the bear right here. In fact, Undying is going to get caught out completely. Walrus Punch, and there's going to be no entangle, but actually Undying heals completely from that. So the counter exchange might actually be the Tusk dying here for sure. The courier goes out to Tusk, but there's going to be no follow-up for the Tusk here. So Tusk is just going to try and make as much space as he can here. They need to watch that courier, actually. Those creatures are not trying to attack the courier. Vengeful's coming in. He's got a smoke here, so he might be able to catch out either the bear or the actual bear himself. And then Ancient Apparition needs to be a little bit careful here. Yeah, well, I got the build correctly. He's going directly into Ag's Rush, which is why there's little to no secondary vision here. Actually, no, I'm completely wrong. There's vision everywhere here. So they have some vision, but not a lot of vision.
Radiant's bottom
Weaver
tower
looks
is
like he's
under
going
attack.
into a Daedalus for
Radiant
sure.
structures are
With the
fortified.
casual vitality booster, which I don't understand. They need to be a little bit careful here because there is some easy aggression coming off of here. They can work this tier 2 because they can
Radiant's
see
bottom
most
tower
of the
is
dire
under
heroes
attack.
down here. And that's exactly
Dire's
what's going to
top
happen.
tower is
Timbersaw's going to
under
work on
attack.
this top tower here, trying to clear out the next creep wave.
Radiant's
CPs are
bottom
going out,
tower
but it's
has
only one
fallen.
TP. And Brew comes in. They still clean the creep wave, and the tower is vulnerable. They need to watch that courier there. Brew is going to get it. Oh my gosh, the damage coming out from the Lone Druid Bear is just fantastic. Oh, the bind actually scares off the Vengeful Spirit, and he's able to kill the Vengeful completely. They're gonna get some spot here with one of the few actual wards here, so they know that there's 2 people back in the Radiant or Dire Forest there. So far, it's a pretty even game here with Lawless Punch having a little bit of a smaller advantage. For sure, there's going to be a little bit of an issue with the fact that OD is going for int attack speed. Courier's going to come in and drop a BKB. Actually, the BKB is going to go onto the OD, which actually makes not too much sense to me. But again, I don't question people on their picks, because I'm not a pro player. I have no idea what's going on. Brewmaster pings out that the Roche is up. Radiant have no idea that they went in there because he blinked in from the... Oh! He blinked in from the back there. So, double pings out going on to the Weaver and the Vengeful. They need to figure out when they're going to do this Roche here. They have vision, and another ward gets pinged out. In fact, they can see it with the Sentry ward there. And Bear destroys it, so they need to be really careful here. They don't actually know if... I forgot that was a place you can ward. In fact, it looks like they're going to instead exchange some necessary aggro. Out comes the AA ball. So they know that they're in Roche. They can get some tower aggression on here. In fact, they're going to do exactly that. They're going to try and kill Brewmaster. Brewmaster goes down. TP's coming in. And they're going to get no other exchange off of this. Oh!
His middle tower has
What happened?
fallen.
Oh, OD orbs himself. So, that's a bit of unfortunate. He clicked it way too quickly and ended up casting orb on himself, which is very unfortunate. Otherwise, he probably would have gotten the kill on that Timbersaw. The Timbersaw is stacking... Nice. I forgot that you can use Aether Lens for Timber. It actually helps him a lot.
Regeneration.
Timber's rocking 7 charges, which means he's actually died with it recently. He spawned with 8, right? Or he spawned with 6. I can't remember. I never buy Bloodstone anymore, because ever since the change, I don't really buy it. That's actually a really controversial thing. If I had a co-host here, he would probably tell me why we shouldn't, or why we should be buying the Bloodstone still. So overall, there's a lot of stuff going out here. They need to be careful. The Courier gets scouted out by the Frozen Sigil. But it just goes and picks up a Blade Mail, or a Plate Mail from the side shop. In fact, Tusk is going to go on this Vengeful Spirit here. I don't really see... Oh, in fact, it might be turned around instantaneously. Tusk is actually going to go down here for sure. And Vengeful Spirit gets away with little to no help, but little did Tusk know he actually had the Urn of Shadows on him. Oh my gosh, Weaver absolutely decimates the Ancient Apparition, and they're going to return to attempting to put some aggro on that top tower with the exchange of Lone Druid going bot. Lone Druid, I can see an AC coming off of this bear here. It's for sure going down. Oh my gosh, he actually doesn't get it because they forted the tower. Yeah. Boots of Travel goes out onto the OD. Bot tower denied by the Undying. Sentry Ward placed in the wrong spot, actually. They don't have vision. They were actually just right outside of the line that would have picked it up. It's just so close. And they actually, I think they ping out that Sentry Ward. I don't know what Slardar is going for at this moment, but there's a Monkey King Bar that just went out on the Lone Druid, which is most likely on the air. In fact, I am 100% correct. There is yeah, it's right there. Is that really the name of the bear? Miscus Cineraniki?
Hit them.
I'm sorry if I'm insulting people off of how this guy spelled the bear. What? Yeah, no, he named it that. Alright. So I'm sorry if that random person is watching this video, but I don't know how to spell your bear. Timber's going to throw out his ultimate here to try and slow down the Undying, but instead Brewmaster's going to blink in on the... Oh, they missed the stun off of the Lone Druid for sure. Gosh, there's 2 bears in here. It's really hard because Brewmaster's technically a bear. Was there an Aether on the Vengeful? No, there wasn't. Timbersaw commits suicide. There's no kill going out. In fact, the tower might actually kill the Weaver, coincidentally, but he actually has another Aegis, so it doesn't matter. There's some serious aggro going out on the Rawless Punch's side. I don't know why the bear blinked in directly on top of the base here. He is definitely going down. OD ultimate drops Lone Druid immediately. And they're going to go back to adding that aggro to the second tier tower. My gosh. So immediately Walrus Punch had the comeback, took the comeback, grabbed it by like a bunch of collection of ears and stuff. And yeah. So that happened. It was really sad.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So, yep. Swap goes out on the Tusk. Tusk is dead for sure. Tusk buyback. Lone Druid still has buyback. He's contemplating whether or not to do it. There's actually not a
Radiant's middle barracks have fallen.
There's nothing that Adam can do for this mid barracks. In fact, he's gonna go down.
Middle barracks have fallen.
Slardar actually gets stunned out and oh my gosh, this is probably going to be a GG call with the BKB on the Outer World Devourer, but that needs to be a little bit careful. Timbersaw might turn this around here. In fact, he might. No, he doesn't, because he blinks out and is glimmer caped by somebody. And Timbersaw tries to jump in again. OD still goes down. Ancient Apparition actually gets the last hit. Tusk is back in action after getting buyback and I think losing after that. There's no stun that they can put on that, and Walrus Punch still leaving with the end advantage here, because there is nothing that Adam can really do at this point to recover from the losses here. So that's a bit of unfortunate. Lone Druid is still attempting to get the split pushing out and possibly going AC. He's got 2.3 on him, so he might be doing AC. Courier comes out to the Weaver. I don't know what that might be. Quick Staff, so that means he's actually going for... I mean, I know he's not going for Orchid. That'd be stupid. Sorry, people, if you go Orchid on Weaver, I'm sorry, but it is genuinely a stupid build. He's definitely doing Butterfly, for sure. Haste gets pointed out by the bot here. Bear drops the TP. I don't know. Maybe the bear had a TP for some reason. Wow, a lot of secret shop items being picked up here, with Undying picking up a... Actually, I'm pretty sure that plate mail was already there. Brewmaster picked up some plate mail, actually. So yeah, he picked up a plate mail too. And then a Solar Crest finished up on the Vengeful Spirit and actually has stat boots now instead of flat boots. Timbersaw is down to 7 charges again on his Bloodstone, which actually is very confusing for me. So we'll leave that at that. Ancient Apparition picks up his Aghanim Scepter, and he had that actually a while ago, but I forgot to mention it, which is why they got the kill in the Ancient Apparition earlier. Oh, excuse me. The bear here is actually pretty high on items. He picks up the Vladmir's that was on the Lone Druid. And looks like there's going to be some core progression top, and there's no wards to spot this out. So Radiant might be in a bit of a trouble here. They're going to get triple ganked or triple dropped on by this. In fact, the Undying pops ultimate preemptively. Totem goes down, but he actually no spells land on anyone, and I don't know exactly how they're going to turn this around. Drew almost gets ultimate off. Actually, I think he got picked out of it. He does actually. Timber got picked out of it. Tusk actually goes down, but in comes the AA ulti, and oh my gosh, Weaver is actually getting thoroughly rinsed here. What is the Slardar actually doing? Oh my gosh, the fight for Added is quickly turning around, but BKB goes out on the OD, and Timber tries to escape because all he is magic damage. Oh my gosh, the ultimate pops out, and Timber is for sure dead, but OD is going to go down as well. That's a full man team wipe. That is a full team wipe on the side of the Walrus Punch. And buyback goes out on the OD, and there's only other one person that would actually buy back at this point. Weaver actually just gets enough money to buy back at the moment, so they're going to figure out what they're going to do here. They're going to let this tier 1 fall. No, they're going to Fortification, and Undying buys back. Can't even hear the buyback sound because I'm talking really loud. OD jumps in and just wants to deal massive damage on the bear. Stun goes out. OD actually gets hit directly by that AA ultimate. Totem gets popped out. Bears gets out. Everyone's out. Aden's back into farming, and they need to worry about that mid being pushed in by the creeps here. Little do they know, actually, they have complete vision on the base here of what is occurring. No one's aggressing the middle here. Slaughter, you can go. That's like just a tiny bit of mana that you need back. You're not even doing anything. What are you doing? Tusk picks up. What did Tusk even get there in that courier? Well, there's an AC for the bear. A smoke. Looks like they might be doing exactly that. They're gonna regret smoking right on top of the ward here. They actually scout out the smoke in the courier, I'm pretty sure. Dyer picks up that being in there. It's actually pretty funny how the Radiant pick up the Tusk instead of the other team, since their name was Walrus Punch and all. You know, you'd figure that the team that has Walrus Punch would get Tusk. But then again, neither did that Meepo team get Meepo a lot of the time. So they're gonna smoke, and they didn't get any vision on that the Radiant wise. Tusk is gonna throw out his Ice Shard, so they know that someone's invis somewhere. In fact, they probably scout him out because the ward goes out. In fact, he's gonna get spotted here. Loses a massive amount of damage and gets killed by the 666 crit. Oh my gosh, that's a demon. I just realized that he critted for 666, and that's the you know, the thing for Satan and stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys are gonna have a good night's sleeping, because that was bad.
Dyer's bottom tower
they
is
scout out the
under
Roshan's
attack.
back up, and Tusk pings it out, so they know that he's in there, but there's not really much they can do against that, because the degen on the armor is going down. And the Midas actually dropped off of the Lone Druid here. Lone Druid's bear is going to get absolutely decimated here. There's nothing the bear is going to be able to do. That's an extra 300 gold going the way of whoever I didn't see get it. Pink's bot tower defense is going out. Hand of Midas, I'm pretty sure, just got sold at the secret shop side shop here. In fact, OD picks up a Shiva's Guard off of that Roshan fight. And random Vengeful Spirit. You know, there's a lot of items just not going out. In fact, Vengeful Spirit might be in trouble here. The Blink can still go out here, and it doesn't matter because they tried to right click him, and for some reason they turned on Crimson Guard. But it looks like they're just barely able to make it out of here. Supersaw is probably going to be the only exchange that's for sure going down. It's very unfortunate because he traveled in. In fact, he actually gets Vengeful Spirit before he does. He's trying his best just to... Oh, he actually suicides! The Bloodstone must have come off the cooldown right at that exact second. With 5 charges, and the Weaver is slowly attempting to try and kill that guy. Lone Druid is back up top, attempting to get some pushing in, and OD is pretty much farming. We're getting back into the farming stage. Something I'd like to point out is that last game I casted, there was just everyone was always split apart. Now, something I'd like to point out is that in this game, everyone seems to be always together. I've yet to see the teams be split up 5-wise. That OD orb would have been perfect if it landed. Oh my gosh. The AA orb would have been perfect if it landed on the OD. Second tier 2 travel boots are going to be picked up here, and they might be TPing back down to bottom to help this push here. If that's going to be the case. Or OD is going to stay back and defend despite having the Aegis. I don't know what the Radiant Courier is doing. That's just standing there. There's a TP Courier. Let's check travel boot count. There's only travel boots on the Timber Saw, and Timber is down. So there's not going to be any super initial tier defense here. Lone Druid TP's back. I forgot he actually probably had travel boots, but he actually doesn't. The bear doesn't have it either. So it was just normal TP, and they're just going to try and clean up the waves here. Tusk picks up a Gem True Sight, which actually hasn't really been much of a problem, the invis detection here, because Slardar is getting really good at the detecting and stuff. So far so good. Timbersaw actually, there's going to be some tier defense coming out on the bottom here, and picked up by the Slardar. Oh, that's a really bad way to rearm, because he's actually got cheese, so he can still fight this. In fact, here comes OD on his tier 2 travels, 415 move speed, so he's here for a whole team fight. no Aghanim Scepter picked up on him yet, which I understand completely, because Rod of Atos and the Force Staff, he's probably just going for, like, that I need to kill you quickly scene. You know, if they really wanted Lone Druid to go top and get some really necessary aggro here, because there's not going to be much they can do for a team fight defending here. Vengeful Spirit swaps out the Timbersaw. Timbersaw is for sure going down here in this trade. Doesn't hit anything. Vengeful Spirit might be going down. Timbersaw buyback. And, my gosh, the side of Adam is just getting absolutely decimated after going to your tower. Stun goes out on the Timbersaw, so there's no counter initiation. Brewmaster throws out his stun. Tusk is actually rolling out pretty far. Stun goes out on the bear, but not the Tusk. But then, oh my gosh, the ultimate comes in by the OD and absolutely decimates. Slardar actually comes back, and Vengeful Spirit is still dead. OD's Aegis is popped, and Weaver is dead as well. Down goes the Brewmaster, and OD is going to be caught out here. Force Staff over the cliff, actually. He's going to get out perfectly fine because he's got his travel boots. There's no stun. Oh, stun goes out because he actually has a Monkey King bar on fair, and down goes the Outer World Devourer. So that is another team wipe. There was no buybacks on the side of Walrus Punch, but there was full buybacks. Every person bought back except for Tusk on the side of Adam. So, and they're going to try and capitalize off this missing fight here. So Timbersaw going to try his best to clean out the top wave, and gets that exactly. Lone Druid has an Aghanim Scepter. Believe it or not, the Aghanim Scepter Lone Druid Bear is back in play. The only one with buyback at the moment is Brewmaster. So this tower is for sure going down here. They use the fortification, and the creeps are cleaned instantaneously. The first respawn with Vengeful Spirit gets the wards being picked up. There is some absolute decimation. Buybacks go out all the board of the carries. And, oh my gosh, Emerge is perfectly fine. The bear is for sure going down here. And the Lone Druid Bear is going to just TP out. Or no, that's Timbersaw TPing out. Top ranged racks go down for sure, and melee racks are not really that close. Going down. Sean, not up. It's not going to be up for a little while here. In fact, it might be a little bit longer because we don't know about the roast Sean time yet. I didn't see the timer yet. So again, it's just back to farming at 45. So far so good. We're running pretty decent here. It's 29-26 into a 46-minute game. I don't know my controls here, so I can't tell you what level everyone is. I don't even have anything set for hero level. There's only 2 25s out at the moment, which is actually just the Radiant side. So Radiant is actually somewhat at their cap at the moment, with the Tusk still at level 14. I had somebody with me yesterday that was still level 14 when we were playing here. There's actually a lot of deaths on the Vengeful and the Brewmaster. The Brewmaster was supposed to be the semi-core, and did not prove to be that useful. He's still proving to be useful. The Tusk is proving more useful than the Brewmaster at this point. But there's enough damage going on the Weaver here that it's probably going to be disregarded soon. In fact, there's no boots on the Weaver. This is something that my friend also runs, is little to no boots almost all game. If anything, he'd sell his... in fact, he probably is going to go for boots of travel here, because I'm pretty sure he bought back. Yeah, he bought back. No, he didn't. Yeah, no, he didn't. So he can go for boots here if he wanted to, but the bear is going to be decimated here. Little does he know, it actually has the buff here. But, oh, it just barely misses the frost thing. Whew. Excuse me. Ward gets pinged out by the Undying here. Undying actually goes into Glimmer Cape. Little do they know they don't have an actual initial stun here, but Brewmaster tries to get the slow out. And, wow, they're dedicating a lot just to get the Tusk here. Tusk doesn't have a gem rare. In fact, I forgot there was a gem picked up a long time ago. Tusk goes down for sure. Timber is just absolutely another decimation through the time here. Boom! Blinks out, perfectly fine. Oh, but the... oh, gosh, the Slardar actually gets swapped out here. Too much damage going out. He's got negative armor, a lot of negative armor here. He has Rod of Atos going down, but in the meantime, top was destroyed by the Lone Druid. Lone Druid's going to start working on that mid tier. He's not going to be able to get it. He probably should have started working on the range tracks. In fact, Tusk pings out that you should have hit the range tracks instead. They're pinging out that they see the bear, and Lone Druid needs to get his way out of there. And again, he saves the bear. the second time in a row. Ping goes out from the Brewmaster where the bear is, and the bear's just going to keep on running. And the bear emerges perfectly fine. Yet again. Yet again. Oh my gosh, this guy, this lone druid is really good with his bear. That is for sure. More wards I think picked up on the Vengeful. No, never mind, it's a Dominator, which is very understanding because no one has Vladimir's. There's someone outside doing something. This is actually a pretty long game. It's about 49 minutes here, and all I know is the Brewmaster's on a haste here. I'm trying my best to keep up with him. My gosh, he's actually going pretty fast here, and I'm not that good of a caster. So we're working on that. We're working on that not good of a caster part. Actually, there was a Vladimir's on the bear, so I don't know why his Vengeful Spirit might have picked up that Dominator there. Maybe for an extra creep reinforcement. That's just not actually true because it's literally just a satyr. It is just a satyr. Maybe some late game stacking. I don't know. Look at the net worth. Oh my gosh. Lone Druid capping the net worth at almost 2k above the Weaver. Yeah, with that Aghanim Scepter, he is just absolutely decimating everything. Because he can actually attack and get last hits and stuff, but I mean, my goodness, I have not seen an Aghanim Scepter Lone Druid go so well in a long time. Out goes the bear. Lone Druid can literally just sit back and enjoy the show. In fact, he's at 3.1k HP, and all he has is an Aghanim Scepter in level 25, so he's going pretty good so far. And he's going to keep on getting that farm up in that area there. The bear gets pinged out by the Vengeful Spirit. Wards are getting kind of scarce on the side of Radiant. There's little to no warding that they're actually doing, but that's probably because they don't need a lot of warding. In fact, they try again to sentry out the ward here on the cliff, but little do they know they do not find that sentry, or they don't find that vision there. Weaver's going to find the Slardar here. Needs to be really careful because I don't think he actually saw the Weaver, but instead Undying's going to get blinked on here. Weaver does get scouted out. Brewmaster used ultimate and disables the Slardar completely from the fight. Timber's perfectly fine, but instead it might be the Slardar going down here. In fact, it probably will be Slardar going down with a Vengeful Swap and out from the Weaver damage. The Weaver damage absolutely beautiful. Undying actually dies from the Timbersaw. Timbersaw needs to be careful here. He's taking a lot of too much explosive damage here. BKB goes out on the Weaver as a pure defensive mechanism, and what was Weaver? No, he actually still has the cheese. Oh, Weaver gets caught out by the Ice Shards. Perfect Ice Shard blast. He's still dusted. He's a really fast invisible piggy. Oh my gosh, the beauty. He didn't use the cheese. He would have got away if he used that cheese. Mid's being defended by the Timbersaw here, and bot is going to be pushed in heavily by the Lone Druid and here. So far so good. Timbersaw is building up some crazy good farm, picks up a BKB himself, which is actually very understandable against the OD, because that's who he's been dying a lot to in this game so far, is OD's direct power ultimate. OD is keeping bottom, trying to assist here. Bear TP's out, and that is it. Brewmaster tried to use his Drunken Haze on him, but little did you know, he's got him. Oh my gosh. He's got a Monkey King Bar and a Moon Shard? I didn't even know he had a Moon Shard. I think Lone Druid tried to buy another Moon Shard after so the Radiant know, well obviously the Radiant know that, oh my goodness golly Jesus Jiminy Christmas, that Roshan is absolutely decimated. In fact, the Weaver tries to buy back and wants to try and contest this Roche, but little did they know they're not going to get it. No one's actually getting the Aegis or the cheese. Lone Druid still picks up the cheese, and the bear. Oh no, the cheese is still there. The cheese is still there. The bear is actually flying so high in the sky, but the cheese is still in there. Tusk goes down. Oh my gosh, Tusk and AA go down. Lone Druid is stunned out completely. A just drops Midas on the ground on him actually. Bear is the bear he's doing. Bear goes down, Lone Druid loses a chunk of health, and boom, down goes Lone Druid. Lone Druid does have buyback. Everyone has buyback on the side of Radiant. So they need to be a little bit careful here. Meanwhile, the
Dire's middle tower is
Slardar is getting heavily chased down. He has no debuffs on him. He could blink out and TP out at the moment. He's got 7 seconds left on TP. Tusk and Lone Druid buyback to defend that middle tier towers. In fact, Slaughter might be trying to get some bonus damage here. In fact, no, they get spotted out by one of the creatures there. Dire's mid tower has actually gone down by creeps, so they need to be a little bit careful here. They only have one set of megas. Lone Druid pings out that the cheese is still in the Roshan. Brewmaster also pings it out too, I believe. Undying might be the first to pick it up. And that is exactly what's going to happen. Undying is going to pick up the cheese. And he's going to take it. And he's going to use it. Or sell it. He's got 3.5k. He could go sell it and get 4k. And have some... maybe get close to a pig staff. Actually, no. He can get a pig staff if he wanted a pig staff at this moment. Actually, no. Plate mail doesn't do pig staff. Plate mail does Lotus Orb. So I guess he could just go into Lotus Orb. Which might be what's going on here. Because Lotus Orb... There's no other secret shop items. For Lotus Orb, he might want to go Guardian Greaves. Full TP is going out. This is stunned completely on the OD. In fact, there might be some counter initiation. No, there's nothing coming off of it. Tons of TP's out. He was actually smoked. Everyone is running in here. Slardar really should get some boots of travel at this point. He's got a lot of points, periods of time he's been caught out. Repeated times. Lone Druid's back on top. Bear, I believe, is still on cooldown. Actually, just comes off cooldown right now. And it's back to farming, everyone. 55 minutes into the game, and we're still farming with Lone Druid Bear. Some vision goes out there. I wonder if you could put a gem on the bear, and you could spot out the stuff. Speaking of gem, where is the gem?
Oh, great. Now I'm seeing things too.
Well, who has the gem? Tusk is back on the gem. So, I mean, he needs to be a little bit careful here. He's another high priority target. Undying looks like he's just called in the Guardian Greaves. And he is actually also working... No, he's going straight into Lotus Orb. He's not going to go Guardian Greaves. So that's a lot of armor going out on the way of Undying with the reflection coming out here. So that, if used correctly, can be put on the Weaver and reflect... Oh my gosh, Weaver has 2 Daedalus. I'm going to check if the English casters are actually casted. And they're not. Why are the English casters not saying anything? I don't know. Oh, Ancient Apparition. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, brother. You're definitely going to die. Oh, you're not going to die. Wow, you probably should have died. Probably should have died. Wow.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
His barracks get attacked by the bear. In fact, bear kills Vengeful Spirit. Don't even know where that was. Oh, looks like it was right about here because that's where the satyr was too. The bear has absolutely abysmal attack speed. I can't even see. There it is. 44. So that means 2.2 hits per second, or 2.3 hits per second. Well, 44. That'd be 2. Yeah, it'd be 2.2 hits per second. And out comes the bear. I'm a bear. They're drunk and hazing him, but they don't understand that the bear has the Monkey King bar, so hazing isn't really gonna do anything for them. OD picks up a moon shard, so he's hitting at a pretty fast rate. I was right. This is the attack speed OD with int attack speed OD. Well, everyone gets a moon shard, or everyone gets a... What's the other one? Lotus Orb, all the time. In fact, he gets Ratos. Ratos has an amazing range. I wonder why that is.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So there's some stuff going out here. TPs go out on the top. They realize that the Lone Druid Bear is going to try and get them pushing, but there's no vision. But they still understand, or that Aiden still understands that they're going to TP in because they don't see him at bot anymore. This game is going to go on for a very long time. BKB gets picked up on the Lone Druid, and it might actually be for Lone Druid himself, or is it for the bear? It's for the bear. What did the bear have beforehand? The Vladimirs. Okay. Looks like bot's gonna get scouted out here by the Vengeful Spirit. Actually, Tusk pings out the Vengeful Spirit. They're gonna see him anyway because Wave of Terror is gonna go out. And of course, Wave of Terror doesn't come from the air, so they're gonna find him. Hopefully, try to bait him out. Nothing lands. Actually, AA might be pinging out the Vengeful here. Vengeful actually gets an Aether Lens. It's not Agged yet. Agged would basically do the same exact thing that Aether is going to do for it. But it doesn't really matter. In fact, looks like he gets circle pinged, or just, you know, somebody tells someone that it's either OD or it's either like... See, that's what I really hate about the light blues, is that you can't tell which light blue is the light blue. For, like... It's really... That's something to say. Creep gets spotted out. In fact, they actually get spotted out by one of the few wards that are up in the air at the moment by the Radiant. This is one of the few only wards here that is there on the side of the Radiant. In fact, some extra damage is going to go out. Totem was popped really early, so they can't get the damage on him, but they need to realize that the Slardar is still there, and Slardar gets out perfectly fine. And slithering speed on the way out. So, in the end, Aiden still gets the end advantage on that fight there. Well, Aiden didn't lose anyone, so they're all good there. And Lone Druid is just pushing to his heart's content. The mid barracks are actually going to go down. Timber's on. Oh my gosh, Timber absolutely destroys the Undying. Undying is going on a ping fest. Undying buys back and wants to attempt to defend here. He doesn't have a totem, so it's not really going to do anything. Oh my gosh, Timbersaw has an Octane Core as well. So BKB is going to be on cooldown. Oh my gosh, they got to be really careful here because BKB goes out and the bear is flying in the sky. They're going to get the racks for sure here because the bear is going to go down. I'm lagging a little bit, or something's lagging a little bit. Dang, Russian servers, eh? My gosh, the bear is absolutely decimating the Lone Druid, the Panda Bear. Oh, man, that hurt. The mid-racks are going down. There's no more buybacks. Lone Druid has dropped a bunch of towers. Lone Druid's actually getting the bottom racks. This is going to be the GG, everybody, because I don't even know what's happening anymore. Undying goes down for, like, what, the second time? That was buyback. And BKBs are just flying everywhere on the side of, oh my goodness gravy. Yeah, that is probably the GG call. I'm not in game chat, so I am in game chat, so I will see if they say GG. They're gonna still try and keep this. They do full buybacks. The Lone Druid Bear is actually taking a little bit of damage because I haven't selected anyone else in a while. OD is down. Everyone is down. That is the GG call. Alright, everyone, that was a 61-minute game with solo hosting. Undying angrily draws on the map because no doubt this is probably a selection of people from elsewhere. So I guess we can go over the highlights and stuff here. Aiden just had like such a better advantage early game with the Lone Druid and the Slardar just jumping in there at such a fantastic rate of damage. And the Tusk actually had like the lowest probably value in the Tan in Aiden. So with Walrus Punch, the Brewmaster just didn't propose much of a threat as they were hoping. They were probably going to go into Aghanim Scepter into AC, but instead directly went into Blink AC instead. The Undying posed a good threat, but then just after a while, Lone Druid was able to take down the totem within just 3 hits of his actual bear. And then Vengeful Spirit still led a pretty good lead on how to win the team fight with OD and Weaver. OD still being a very questionable carry in this current meta at the moment, is still a very hard character to learn and really hard to collect and everything like that. And the Weaver was pumping enough damage. I don't think Weaver actually had any problem with the team fights here. But yeah, that's game. Actually, there's another one after this, but I don't feel like casting that. So I will see you guys all next time. Thank you all for watching this 1 hour and 1 minute 22-second game with Team Aiden as the victor. We will see you all next time. Goodbye.